Welcome to the Pollock-Krasner House and Study Center. I'm Helen Harrison, I'm the director here, and in this room behind me you see the studio that was occupied by both Jackson Pollock and Lee Krasner when they lived and worked here. This property belongs to the Stony Brook Foundation. We are open from May through October, and if you want to go onto our website, which is pkhouse.org, you can find out about visiting and about various programs that we present here in conjunction with Stony Brook. When Stony Brook took this property over in 1987 from Lee Krasner's estate, this studio did not look the way it looks now, because at that time the floor was covered. It was covered with masonite in 1953 during a renovation. And all of what you see behind me here, all of the marks on the floor, were simply sealed in under this masonite. Now, Pollock famously liked to spread his canvases out on the floor, work around them from all four sides using liquid material, house paint. And he would fling and spatter and pour and drizzle the paint onto the surface of the canvas, but he was a very energetic painter, and a lot of that would spill over the edges. So after several years, the floor really became covered with these colors and gestures that you find in his most famous poured paintings. And when we renovated the building as a museum, we just took up that floor covering from 1953 and revealed all of the evidence of his most productive and innovative period of work. Here in the studio, around the walls, we have an exhibition of photographs and text panels that tell you something about Jackson and Lee's lives and the work that they did here after they moved to this property in 1945. This building was not the way it looks today. It was a very rough wooden structure, a storage barn for fishing equipment. So it wasn't a year-round studio. He worked here from 1946 to 1956, and then Lee moved in and she started using it in 1957. She died in 1984. Now on the wall behind me, you can see some marks that she left. She liked to tack her canvases on the wall. And she was also a very energetic action painter, so sometimes her gestures and colors would just spill out over the painting, off the painting, onto the wall, but she liked to work vertically. And you'll see some purple and some pink. That's from a famous painting called Gaia that's in the collection of the Museum of Modern Art. In this area in particular, it's very easy to identify a specific painting that Pollock was working on the floor. And these colors are so obvious, they're right on the top layer. It's from a 1952 painting called Convergence. It's in the Albright Knox Art Gallery in Buffalo, and what he did was to take a 1951 painting, a black enamel painting on unprimed canvas, and in 1952 put it back on the floor and reworked it. Those black paintings didn't sell. You have to remember that Pollock and Krasner both were living on the sale of their artwork. That was their only income. So if he had a show that was unsuccessful, that was a real problem. So he decided to add color to some of these black paintings. He laid it down again, and he mixed up some very colorful blue and orange and yellow and added it to the surface. So it's actually a convergence, literally, two paintings in one. And that was something that he did with several of those black paintings. Now, in order to preserve this evidence, we ask visitors to wear special padded slippers. We give them these foam slippers in the anteroom, and then they come into the studio, because the only way to really appreciate what we have here on the floor is to walk on it and actually look closely at the different marks, the different colors, the different aspects of this document of Pollock's most productive and innovative period of work. In fact, we even have his footprints on the floor, where he walked across one of the canvases in his bare feet. So these are kind of wonderful little elements of what really makes up a document of a kind of process that he pioneered that really was unique to him. I mean, he was not the first artist to paint on the floor and not the first artist to use liquid material, but the way he combined it, the way he brought out the kind of interior imagery and gave it form using these unconventional materials really was a pioneering effort, and it changed the course of modern art. Thanks so much for being part of this virtual art crawl. Come and visit us out in East Hampton. We're about 65 miles from campus, but we're in a beautiful location in Springs, which is just outside of East Hampton Village. And I hope we'll see you here soon.